If we were to graph the growth of intelligence in our species, what would it look like? Would human intelligence grow indefinitely? Clearly, that can't be the case. Humans in 2020 don't seem any more intelligent on average than humans who were alive in 1920 or 1820. In fact, almost all of the most influential philosophers, scientists, and mathematicians are dead people from a long time ago. Then, can it be a flat line? Not likely, because that would mean our intelligence has always stayed the same for millions of years. So the most likely case is either our intelligence went up and became steady, or it will look like a normal distribution or a bell curve where the graph goes up and then goes down like this. What's interesting is that researchers have found our brain size has been decreasing for quite some time. Our early human ancestors had larger brains on average compared to humans today. If human intelligence positively correlates to our cranial capacity, then it most certainly looks like the bell curve is an accurate depiction. But it suggests our brightest moments are in the past. In 2006, a movie called Idiocracy came out where humans in the future become dumber and dumber until they can't even solve basic problems like farming. It was supposed to be a comedy film, but now it looks more like a documentary. The logic in the movie is like this. While smart people get married and have one or two children, not so smart people get married and have lots of babies. So eventually, human intelligence gets watered down and we become less intelligent over time. A cognitive scientist named David Geary said the following to Discover magazine. You may not want to hear this, but I think the best explanation for the decline in our brain size is the idiocracy theory. I think something a little bit like that happened to us. Notice how he said happened and not will happen. Of course, just because our brains are shrinking doesn't mean we are certainly getting dumber. Who knows, maybe our brains are becoming more efficient. I mean, computer chips are getting smaller and smaller, right? Perhaps the same thing is happening to us naturally. But that doesn't explain why other mammals have even smaller brains. Also, when it comes to computers, their brain cells or transistors are getting smaller in size. But our neurons are not, so our brains really shouldn't be getting smaller. The smaller the brain, the less number of neurons and synapses it can contain. So why are our brains shrinking? No one knows for sure as of today, but does that mean we are losing our cognitive power? Maybe. But here's some good news. The median IQ score has been steadily going up for quite some time now. The bad news is, this probably doesn't mean much since IQ scores don't really reflect people's overall intelligence. And when you look at the graph, clearly we did not become that much more intelligent in such a short period of time. What we can conclude today is, we really should not be surprised if we are in fact becoming less intelligent gradually. It actually makes sense. At some point, we have to move downward, especially with our smaller brains. But you don't have to feel so bad. At least you're not a flat earther, anti-vaxxer, or evolution denier, right? To learn more about how dumb we are going to be in the future, order a copy of The Birth of Language.
Would you like to learn more about language? Then get a copy of The Birth of Language from Amazon, Apple Books, or Google Play Books.